Okay, guys and gals, we have a really great breakfast today because we're having breakfast with two of my really good subscribers, Matt F. and vrich3733. And guys, we have Edelbrock for this video. Guys, it doesn't get any better than this. So first of all, I hope everybody has something really good to drink along with your breakfast. And I hope you have a really good breakfast. And this breakfast is going to be really good because my first subscriber, Matt F. Now, if you don't know who Matt F. is, go down in the description box below and click on that link. And you will find a video and you'll know exactly who Matt F. is. So, he is my friend. He is our United States Marine. And he sent me a bottle. I told my wife this is the best hot sauce I've ever had. It's by Smoking Jay's Fiery Foods. It's roasted ghost hot sauce. So I'll let you see the bottle. You can go online and order it. It's a must order. Absolutely, you got to try it. And they have a bunch of them. All right. So I've been eating this, using this now in my food for about a week. It's the best I've ever had. So, just in getting it shook up there, guys, you got to get you some. So now, I kind of think that our coffee by vrich33 kind of sums this breakfast up. Because you see, vrich33, he sent me some coffee a couple weeks ago, and it's Death Wish coffee. It's kind of like we have a Death Wish coming here on this meal, but guys, I'm telling you, it's so good you won't mind the heat. So hey, Matt F. and Rich, this breakfast is for you guys. That's some killer coffee. That's all I gotta say. So now I just gotta let you guys know how this tastes. Get this. Now we have sausage. Guys, we're also having breakfast with Larry the Cable Guy. I have Larry the Cable Guy biscuits and gravy. And then what do we have? We have eggs over easy. I love the yolk. Here we go. That is so good. Matt, you knocked it out of the park. What do you expect from a Marine? Nothing less, right? Matt, it's so good. Instead of having 3 sausages today, I had 5. So, alright. So, for this video, I'm going to talk about overcarbureting your vehicle. It's a very bad thing. Bad thing. Okay? So let me tell you the story behind my truck and the motor. So, about close to 8 years ago, my wife and I, we had just got married and we were getting ready to purchase our home, the home that we're living in now, and I was going to build the motor of my truck once we got moved in. And I've never built a motor all the way through. I've been through different aspects of the phase. I've pretty much seen it all done, and I know I can do it. You just got to take your time and pay attention to every detail, double check yourself, and you gotta look at the full job front to back before you start. And I knew I could do it, right? So I was going to do it, but my wife, she said, wouldn't it be nice if we just had it built? It could be built so when we get moved into the house, your truck's ready to go. I said, no, I'm going to build it, She said, yeah, well, we've got the money. Why don't we just have it built? We got so much going on. We're so busy. She said, when we get moved in, we're going to be busy for like 3 months getting settled in. You could be using your truck to get settled in. Now, guys, that's a good selling point right there. So what do? We run it down to a local shop, a guy that I've known since 1983. We let him have the truck and he built the motor. And I told him, I said, I want torque out of this 460. Just torque. I don't care about horsepower, none of that. If we go for torque, we'll have horsepower. he agreed. So he built it. Now my motor, it's balanced. You know, it's a good solid motor, but there's always been one problem. It's never ran the way I want it to run. Let me tell you some of the ways that, some of the things I don't like about it. First of all, when I'm in second gear and I'm creeping around on the dirt roads or even in a parking lot making a U-turn, the cam of the motor, it begins putting a cadence on the entire drivetrain, and my drivetrain begins slapping back and forth. It drives me nuts. Well, this being the first motor that I had built with the cam like this, the guy that built it said that's because of the cam, and my friends that have built motor have all said that's because of the cam. That's just what you're going to have. I'm like, but it doesn't feel right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is really, my last Ford, I had a 360 motor in it. And I'm telling you, that 360 motor, it had more lower end grunt than my 460 does now. That's just my, how I feel about it. And I think that it's because it's overcarbureted. Now, one thing I was impressed with my truck at first is I was getting about 12 miles to the gallon. But over the last four or 5 months, I don't know what's happened, but it's tanks down to 5.5 gallons, and that's just unacceptable. So I was going to begin messing around with the carburetor, but I thought, you know what? It shouldn't have a 750 on it. So we got the 600 CFM, and I'm going to put that on there today. And I think it's overcarbureted. I think that's the problem. So, so you know, now that's one thing that I think guys do wrong with their motor is they just want to go big. They just want to put the biggest carburetor on there. You know, in the old days, that's how they did it. You know, put the biggest one on you could get and call it good. But I think that it really doesn't make a motor shine for what you built it for. This 750, my motor, it is don't get me wrong, my motor right now, I can run it out well over 100. My truck will hit 125 miles an hour, but it's not a race car. The motor runs good, all right? But what I need practicality. When I go hunting, when I go fishing, I want a good dependable motor with good low end torque, and that's originally what I wanted. It's okay, my motor, it's been bored out, but it's not like my motor is used for, I don't put it in mud bogs. I don't do things with it that's going to be a high demand. It's a little bit of a commuter and a fun mud truck. So 750 is way too much. It's way too much. So today we're gonna do it. Now I'll tell you something about the Edelbrock. Edelbrock, I'll put a link to their website. You gotta check their YouTube videos out. Installing these, it's literally swap and go. Now, I've already got an Edelbrock, pretty much same carb, body, so it'll bolt right on there. If you have a different carburetor on your vehicle, you can go to their site. I'll put the link on there, and you can follow through the videos. I don't care what you have on there. Edelbrock, their videos will help you get your carburetor on there. And I'm going to say an hour with a really good cup of coffee. You know, a good cup of coffee, you can have your carburetor put on there, and it'll pretty much be set to go. The only thing I'll probably fiddle with is the fuel mixture screws, and you know, there might be a few things I might have to do, just runnability issues, but for the most part, it'll be ready to go right out of the box. So And I like Edelbrock. They have when my home's paid off and I restore my truck, I would definitely like to go with the guy put a wind intake on my truck, and I just feel like if I could match this carburetor to the intake, I think it would be a better package deal. But for now, this is what I can afford. This is what I'll go with. Later, I'll do the intake. But I would like to go with their mechanical fuel pump and their water pump, without a doubt. So I like Edelbrock. Great company. One thing one reason I chose Edelbrock over the Holly is it seems like a lot of my friends that run the Holly. Oh, good ghost pepper. A lot of my good friends that run the Holly carburetor, they're always having to adjust that thing, especially for altitude. And coming from where I am in the city up to 10,000 feet, above sea level, it seems like a lot of my friends that run the Holly are always fighting that. And I might be talking out of my experience level, because I can't say I've experienced a lot with the Holly, but I will say this: I had a 76 Chevy 4-wheel drive, and I had a Holly carburetor on that thing, fully rebuilt, and it was just the worst functioning carburetor. The Hollys that I've ran, even the Holly that's on the Edelbrocks I've ran, including the Edelbrock that's on my truck now, even though it's oversized for the engine, it's a great carburetor. I've never had to fiddle with adjusting it. It just runs. The other thing I like about it, on the Hollys, if you backfire, you'll blow that power valve. Now, Holly has a new one that apparently that won't happen. The other thing with the Edelbrock off-roading, I can get in those steep angle positions. It'll keep idling. And the 750 I have on my truck, I have really went out and worked with my truck that way. And this Edelbrock, the one that's on my truck, this one, they'll just keep pumping the gas. They'll keep feeding the fuel. Now, I guess Holly, they have a carburetor now just for 4-wheel drives. But I have a friend that's running one, and he's just not happy with it. And so I think he's going to end up going back to the Edelbrock. So for me, I really like the Edelbrock. It's very user-friendly, in my opinion. And here's the thing. One thing, these Larry the Cable Guy biscuits and gravy, they suck. They really suck. He shouldn't really make these. I would say just stick with the comedy stuff, but these aren't that great. But my mechanical abilities, if I wanted, I could be a mechanic. If I wanted to go be an ASE certified mechanic, I could be a mechanic, and I could learn everything. I would be really good at it. But that's not my desire to do that for a living. So my mechanical abilities, they're around my interest in what I do. So, I can say that I could really take this carburetor down and rebuild it, but I probably could. But if someone began asking me specifics, that's going to be well over my head. That's why I like this carburetor. This is going to be a bolt and go deal, and it's going to work really good. And what do we say on my channel? Not only do we want it to work, but we want it to work good, and this carburetor will work really good. So I'm going to get this bad boy installed. Now, one thing you don't want to do, if you've just drove your vehicle, let it cool down. Don't go breaking your fuel line with the hot intake manifold. You'll find out real quick that's a good way to start a fire. So I'll let my truck cool down a little bit. So I'm pretty excited. This is going to be fun, and I love working on my truck. Eventually, when my home's paid off, I want to restore it, and we'll do videos. I'll do videos. They won't be professional, because I'm not a professional, and if I make a mistake, you guys will see it. But I'll tell you what, we'll do a restoration, And we'll be putting some Edelbrock components on that motor, and it's going to run good. But it runs good now. It's just going to run better. And I'll bet you I'll see 10 miles to the gallon like it should. And that's the thing. You know what? A 460, you know what? It's not an economy motor. It isn't, but it should get 10. A good 460 should get 10. In that neighborhood, you know, 5, something's wrong. I would say there's got to be a point where when you're looking at your gas mileage and you're getting 5, you're just saying, you know, something's not quite matched here. You know, if it's a good strong motor, mechanically sound, you're getting 5.5. Something's wrong with your carburation system, and that's the first place to start. And I'll tell you this about the Edelbrock. If you have a truck that you're restoring, or a car, and you're having carburetor issues, and listen to me, and you say, you're saying, all right, I've got carburation issues, so I'm going to take it to a mechanic and let him work this carburetor over. I'll go buy a new Edelbrock and do it yourself, because this is going to bolt right on and it'll be ready to go, and I'm starting out new, and that's the best you can get. And that's what I like about this Edelbrock. It'll be very user friendly. And I'm not saying Holley isn't. I just haven't worked with the Holleys enough to know, but based off my friends and what we run with, and Edelbrock's a nice carburetor. So also, the Holley is about 150 more, so you can't beat it. Guys, so the report on breakfast is sausages are superb. The eggs out of this world, and when you put this ghost pepper sauce on there, this is about as good as a breakfast can be. The only way we could make this better is to ditch the Larry the Cable Guy biscuits and gravy and put some of Miss Highboy's pancakes on here. Maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe we'll have Miss Highboy's pancakes on here with some of our organic maple syrup, and then we'll have a really good breakfast. It's all right, guys. So I'm gonna start. I want to get this installed, but I need to keep making my videos. So let my motor cool down a little bit. And now, one thing, when you are doing your carburetor, when you take that carburetor off, you need to be very slow about it. Don't jerk it off there. You don't want anything to fall down into your intake. All right, really protect your intake. The intake, it's going to, your inside of your intake will look the way that you keep your air filter conditioned. The better job you upkeep your air filter, the better your intake's going to look, and that translates to how much better and longer your motor's going to run. And it's just the two things: motor oil, right, and keep that air filter. Your air filter, you're going to spend all this money and time on this carburetor, and then you never change your air filter, really? And I got to tell you guys, I'm always out in the desert where the dust is just, it's the worst that it can be. And my air filter and my oil are always #1, and so it should be pretty interesting to look down into my intake and see the condition, but I know it will be very nice. So when you're taking your carburetor off, take it off very slowly. Don't let anything fall into the intake, and then take some nice clean rags and right away get it into your intake so you don't drop anything down there. Make sure those rags are really clean, and just take your time. Now if you do want to say, hey, I think I want to try an Edelbrock, In the description box below, there's a link to Edelbrock. You can check their videos out. They're the best in the world. I'm not going to do a videos doing this because theirs will trump mine. Theirs are just so helpful that guys, even I can do it. Okay, so guys and gals, that's the end of this video. I'm going to get to work, and I hope everybody has a good day. So God bless. We'll see you on the next video.